Time now for your front office insight presented by Sage. Senior VP GM of the Yankees, Brain Cashman, joins us once again, entering his 40th season with the New York Yankees. 1986, you were 19 years old as an intern.
Man, B.
Yeah.
Take me back to that, Brian Cashman.
I had hair. A lot more hair.
If I would have looked into the crystal ball and I had it with me, and I go, hey, Brian, you 19-year-old kid with hair, come over here. This is going to be your life in this organization. What would you have said to that kid?
I would have said, no way. I would have said that future Hall of Famer George Steinbrenner, who's not in the Hall of Fame yet, but he belongs in it. But I was like, I wouldn't last under that guy because no one did. So, but he.
Well, you mentioned
I got to put that in there, though. He belongs in the Hall of Fame.
And I agree with you. Your thoughts on Don Mattingly before we move on to your talk to you about your team?
Yeah, I mean, I've already did a few media runs that when the voting stuff came out, I think congrats Jeff Kent. He's in the Hall of Fame. Obviously, Donnie was one of the best players of his era and one of the best people that you'll know. So certainly rooting for him. But, you know, I'll be honest, I don't know how the committee stuff now works. I know that they have this smaller committee now reviewing people. I also hope they review the boss.
Can I steal your question? You said you were going to ask him about Bellinger and Tucker.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I might as well ask you about left-handed power bat. Yeah, I know how much you like Bellinger. Tucker's out there. How important is it for you, Cash, to get a left-handed power bat?
I don't know if it's important to get a left-handed power bat because we have a good team right now. We've got some important players that we have lost off our team that was good, but the team that we currently have is good. We are left-handed pretty strongly. One thing that Belly did for us was he hit lefties and righties and had a lot of contact. So even though he's left-handed, you know, it didn't play that way. So, you know, generally we love the big left-handed monsters. We've always talked about those, but you need the balance too. And right now, with the loss of Goldschmidt, Rosario, and Slater, who got hurt when we got him at the deadline, pairing with Stanton, I don't have as many choices for our manager that I would like right now. But we have good players that just happen to be left-handed right now on the predominant side.
Brian, I'm going to go with Garrett Cole. And how soon can we see him back on the bump doing his thing for you?
You know, somebody can push May. It's to me, I always, you know, it could be June. You know, listen, he'll be ready when he's ready. No one's going to outwork him. He's prepared both mentally and physically at all times. So we'll see where it takes us. But ultimately, we are vulnerable early on, you know, because of Rodon's surgery and Cole's surgery. So that's one of the reasons we brought Yarborough in, and we are also having conversations about potentially how can we protect ourselves in the starting rotation. Because when they're all healthy, which they never are, but when they're all healthy, they're firing all cylinders. It's a great rotation.
Yeah.
But
it's on the screen right now, Brian, and if those top five guys are healthy, and they're all healthy, could that group be the best 1 through 5 that you've seen with the New York Yankees during your time with the Yankees?
No. I don't spend much time thinking about it, but I love those guys. But I also, at the same time, you can't discount. I was running out guys, fortunate enough that were here, that had names like Roger Clemens and David Cohn and David Wells and Andy Pettit and, you know, Musina, and, you know, listen, I can't.
Well,
El Duque
I faced them all.
Stuff.
Keep going. You keep going.
I was trying to run into them, you know, but.
All right, I'm glad you answered
listen,
that.
Those guys are great, and they could be great. But you're also asking me about guys that have, you know, towed the rubber and got all the way to the World Series, not once, but twice, but 3 times, et cetera. So it's like hard to do apples to apples there.
All right, Brian, let's talk about your end game. Bednar did a great job for you after the deal. Devin Williams gone. Luke Weaver's still out there. Where are you in terms of internal and external options at the end?
Yeah, that's the one thing that, thank God, last year's deadline, we brought in a lot of inventory that were controlled inventory. So whether it's Caballero at shortstop or McMahon at third, but in the bullpen, Bednar and Duvall, because now Devin Williams is gone, went to the Mets as a free agent. Weaver's a free agent. So right now, trying to build back, I have work to do. we do have obviously Bednar that we're excited about, Duvall, Timmy Hill, and Fernando Cruz. That's good. Now I just need to make it deeper and better to make sure that Booney has matchup options every day, and some of that could come from within the system, being promotions, but more likely, we need to import some.
As good as you guys were, and from a power standpoint, Brian, I mean, do you ever think about how you can incorporate some speed, get more athletic, where you can, steal a run here or there without having to hit the 3-run homers as much as you guys do?
No question about it. One of the things we did a couple of years ago, so Grisham was going to be a good defensive guy that could run. We brought Jazz in at a trade deadline, the previous trade deadline, not this last one, but the previous one, to give us some athleticism. Volpe's a runner. Caballero, when we brought him in, he was leading the American League in stolen bases at the time. So without a doubt, we're checking those boxes when we can, and then let Booney play with the roster and turn him loose. So thought we were one of the better, more athletic position player teams we've had in more recent years this past season.
Dominguez was a can't-miss prospect. You're envisioning what from him in 2026?
That's another guy, too. I should have mentioned Dominguez. That guy can run.
Yeah.
But he could have been a football player, but he grew up in the Dominican. But, he's built like a running back. Mm-hmm. But anyway, what do I envision from him?
Yeah.
As of right now, spring training started today. I would think, in theory, he'd have to win the job again, but he's got the leg up to be the everyday left fielder. And he would have been playing more last year, but out of the blue, Grisham became this, borderline all-star.
Yeah.
And had an amazing run. So next you got Belly, Judge, and Grisham in the outfield, and Dominguez got to sit because we're trying to win, and the manager's job is to play your best. And so, hard to say he should have been playing over any of these guys, but most other places he'd be getting reps every day. So I would think going in, if spring training started today and we didn't do anything else, he's probably more likely our everyday left fielder.
And Cash, in the same vein, expectations for Anthony Volpe. Do you chalk up a lot of his issues during the year to the shoulder? How do you look at his 2025?
Yeah, I think he's a good player. I think that sometimes things are going on physically with someone more than they or even with the MRIs and all that stuff. You treat the patient, not the MRI. And in the end, once he wound up having the shoulder surgery, Dr. Chris Ahmad said when he opened him up, it was worse than what the MRI looked like. Non-throwing shoulder, but as a hitter, it's still probably affecting him. So I personally think that it had more effect on his season last year than anybody would have thought. So I think we have a very good player that I'm looking forward to getting back by May if everything goes right, and then turning him loose. And and then again, the performance will tell you one way or the other. But I think he's a good player. We got to the World Series with him playing shortstop the previous year. He's clearly still developing, but if you got stuff holding you back, it's gonna bring you down.
Yeah.
So,
how many people are in the Yankees suite right now watching this interview live?
Oh yeah, they're probably. I'll get the whole. There's 11, 12. I think they told me they ordered some Buffalo Wild Wings going up there. So they're, and then the other crew probably went out and got a little dinner right now since it's that time of night.
And you're here grinding with us on live TV. We appreciate that, Brian. Thank you so
I
much.
appreciate you guys fitting me in.
Yeah, kick-starting our interviews, and this is nonstop interview carousel here in our coverage of the winter meetings. Brian Cashman of the New York Yankees kind enough to join us.